Director of Law, Kevin Sarkey, please summarize the executive session discussion.
Yes, the Borough Council prior to this public session was an executive session to discuss confidential matters. There was only one matter discussed, and that was EMS matters concerning the borough. That's all we discussed.
Let the record reflect that it is now 7:34 p.m. and we reconvene the regular meeting. May I ask the clerk to call the roll?
Ms. Buckley?
Here.
Mrs. Clay?
Here.
Dr. Dobrin?
Here.
Mr. Nessie?
Here.
Mr. Manginelli?
Here. At this time, I would like to invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And I ask that you remain standing after the pledge. Dr. Dobrin has a little prayer he'd like to say. And
as well as everybody else who made it a successful Sunday, Community Day 2023. We had a pivot because of the weather. Everybody chipped in, and I think we had a very successful 2023. So thank you. And thank you to our participants who shifted as well and came out and supported the community and the events. So thank you for that. And just a reminder, on the 27th, Sherry and Recreation are going to be kicking off our trunk or treat. We're coming into the holiday season, so there's going to be plenty of holiday festivities that are going to be posted. So check out our website and our social media, and we look forward to seeing everybody out for the rest of the holiday festivities for the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Perillo, I will tell you that I spoke to the mayor about 2 hours ago. He is still in the hospital. He expects to be discharged tomorrow. He sounds good. His spirits are very good. Strong voice. This is a guy you just can't keep down. So I wish him nothing but good health and luck. Mr. Starkey, Director of Law.
Council President, I do not have a report for tonight. Thank you.
Ms. Hutchinson.
I have no report this evening, thank you.
Ms. Buckley.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'd like to echo thanks that Mr. Tarafinko stated with regard to Community Day, for Councilwoman Clay for leading, for the DPW staff in particular. As you guys know, I'm the liaison to the Environmental Commission, and DPW helped really put up both the Tinton Falls Environmental Commission and Green Team banners. And I staffed that with some of the volunteers we have here in the audience today. It was a great success. We had a lot of residents, some of which were new to town, asking about recycling and things, so it was quite productive. I was happy about that. And a great turnout, actually, considering it was the rain date. I thought it was a really great turnout. Our next Environmental Commission meeting is September 26th. And the next FEMERA, Fort Monmouth Economic Revitalization Authority meeting is tomorrow night. It's a monthly meeting. I mentioned that just because there is a Tinton Falls item on the agenda, which is minor, but in case you guys read the publicly posted agenda with regard to the Barnabas property, TNM, the engineering firm, is looking for additional time to do certain testing that they need to do on the site. And that's essentially what that resolution, if it passes, will allow them to do. That's all for my report.
Thank you, Ms. Buckley. Mrs. Clay.
Thank you, Council President. At the risk of sounding redundant, I do want to just say that the Community Day Committee is the hardest working group that I've had the pleasure to work with. And it was an excellent event, and thank you, everybody, for being so flexible. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Nessie.
Thank you, Council President. First, I too would like to thank DPW, Recreation, the police, and all who were part of planning for Community Day. It was absolutely fantastic, and I can say confidently it was fantastic because my kids did not want to leave. It was very difficult, and they told everyone how great it was. For Planning Board, Apple Street Kitchen, located on Apple Street, submitted a preliminary and final major site plan to expand their restaurant roughly 1,400 square feet, increasing tables, and they had to increase the parking lot as well. I think the plan's fantastic. I think everybody was very receptive to it. There was a couple questions later on about that when he gets back, and to also discuss with the residents about the closures if it's possible. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Dr. Dobrin.
Okay, at the last Tinton Falls Board of Directors for the library, there were concerns about how the maintenance is of the library as it stands right now. The DPW is the ones who take care of it. I will be speaking with Mark Schaffery about more details on the maintenance of the building, but for just your basic knowledge that it is being taken care of by the DPW, and I'll find out more details and I will present it to the Board of Directors of the Tinton Falls Library Association. And that's all I have to say, except that the Community Day, not to be redundant, but was a wonderful day. My wife noticed that when she was standing in line for the free hot dogs and hamburgers for about 20 minutes, that the kids that were online were so well behaved, so happy. There was no fighting, no craziness. It was just pleasant to see. And of course, it's a tribute to the parents, the grandparents, taking care of these kids. And I've noticed it at the music festival, the fashion show, the other community situations, the Little League parade. The kids in this town are so happy. It's such a wonderful place for children to be brought up. I know because I had 3 children brought up in this town. But the children are as happy as can be, well behaved, and love all the events that this borough presents for them. So again, thanks to the parents, grandparents, and relatives and friends. And that's all I have to say for that.
Thank you, Dr.
Thanks.
I just want to thank Deputy Council President, Ms. Clay, for the great job you did on Community Day. I was really had fun.
you.
Once again, you do a great job. That's all I have. There are no ordinances for introduction or final consideration this evening. May I have an motion to open public discussion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
This is the time the public may comment on any topic of their choice. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Pardon? All in favor?
Aye.
What are you laughing at? Ellen Goldberg, 90 Glenwood Drive. Good evening, everybody. I would also like to echo the successful Community Day, and I would like to thank Mother Nature, because I was not going to be able to make it on Saturday. So I was able to be there because it was on Sunday. So as much as a lot of other people were not happy, I was thrilled. I just had 2 comments that I'd like to pass along. One was something that I don't know who would have made the change, but the music was really loud. And I know that the particular people that were the first row, it was very difficult to have a conversation because of the music being loud. Now, I know that, it has to go a distance, but I feel that music can travel in that kind of situation. So it didn't need to be as loud as it was. And the fact that there was a preschool table right there and they were, they had the kids coming up and everything, I know that they were saying as well that it was too loud. The other thing is, if possible, to have the option of veggie burgers next year, as well as the regular hamburgers and hot dogs for people who don't eat meat. So just a suggestion if that can happen. I know that we did it at the Library Music Festival. We had a fairly small number of burgers, but they went over very well. So just a thought. I also want to change direction, and I want to thank Dr. Dobrin for the prayer and for acknowledging the travesty that's going on in Israel right now. And I really would like to thank the Tinton Falls Police Department. We had a service on Friday night at Monmouth Reformed Temple, and a lot of people were very, very scared to venture out and go into a house of worship on Friday because of the national day of that Hamas was calling for protesting. And many people that I sent messages to particularly were anxious and nervous about coming out to the temple. When we arrived at the temple, there were 3 police cars in addition to our security guard. And it's very unfortunate that we have this situation, but the fact that our town is addressing it this way makes me very proud to live here, makes me feel very safe about living here, and I really appreciate the fact that the Tinton Falls Police did that and stepped up. So, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Good, short meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk if any public comments were submitted prior to the meeting via email.
There were none.
Hearing no further comments, may I have a motion to close the public discussion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does any member of the council have anything to add? Great group of people, good. At this time, we'll move to resolutions. We have one resolution for consideration. May I ask the clerk to read the title of the resolution?
R-23-161, appointing a member to the Environmental Commission.
May I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Ms. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
Yes. We will move on to the consent agenda. Before we do, are there any items any member of the council would like removed to be voted upon or voted upon separately? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
A roll call, please.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes.
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Dr. Dobrin?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Manginelli?
We can adjourn at this point.
You have to vote.
Yeah, yes. Okay? This concludes today's business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The meeting is